Hello everyone, I'm Quina, and this is Soulblazer, what many would call the true sequel to ActRaiser. Much like ActRaiser, this game is about repopulating and rebuilding towns, but instead of a platformer, this is kind of like a Legend of Zelda clone with some RPG elements. Normally, I would use one character name to save time on text speed, but since this is a marathon, I don't really care so much. So, timing in this game starts as soon as you clear this text box and get control of the character. So, I'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! So, the objective of this game is to defeat monsters that come out of lairs like this one and seal them, which do a variety of things. The most important is that they repopulate the towns, but they can also open up new areas and dungeons and reveal hidden chests. They can also reveal statues that give hints or items and can warp you back to the town area. Also, this game has magic, which comes out of this light ball that I'm going to be given right now. I'm only going to really be using 2 spells in this game. One is the first one that I just got, the Fireball, and the other is one I'll get in World 2. But after that, most of the magic is not that useful that I get. I just want, because you get the best one in the second area. Now, a lot of the enemies out of this lair have scripted movement patterns, where their movement depends entirely on your position. Like, these 2 lairs right here. If you stand in the right spot, you won't be able to take any damage. And if you stand like 1 pixel from a lair, a lot of these enemies literally just won't move. They'll just stand on the lair and you can kill them to death. There are 2 main ways you either use magic or you kill them with a sword. You can either swing the sword or like hold it up like a drill. Also, when you seal a lair that repopulates the town, you gain a little bit of HP back. I don't actually have to seal this lair to complete the game, but for marathon safety, I am going to do it because it opens up a shop that will give me a free medical herb whenever I need it. Medical herbs will fully heal you if you lose all your HP. And there are certain times where you really need medical herbs in order to survive, because you just can't get through this game without taking damage. Just moving up there to respawn the enemy as I kill the flies at the bottom. I'm gonna pick up a Dream Rod here, which will be used a few times in the run, where we go into people's dreams. Yes. Most of the lairs are like required in order to repopulate certain people or revive certain people that are needed in order to progress, but a lot of them are optional. And so unless they're really important to the speedrun and make things faster, I'm going to be skipping those, because I'll just have to kill extra enemies and make myself vulnerable to more damage. So I have to... So, after this layer, I'm actually going to intentionally take a death, because this game, when you wipe, it's not a game over, like, you don't have to reload a save. You get sent back to the master's room at the cost of all your gems. And in a lot of cases, it's faster to just take a death than to walk all the way back. And we don't really need the gems to make it worth walking back. There are a few times when I will walk back because I really want to keep the gems. So I had to go back to the town here to turn this wheel to operate an elevator in order to progress further into the dungeon. You're gonna see me do that a lot in this game. A lot of times when after restoring certain people, you have to do some things in town in order to get further into a dungeon. At the end of every area, there is a boss that restores the World Guardian. Which gives you a stone that allows you to go to the next area. This particular layer unlocks the house of the World Guardian, so even if I were to defeat the boss, I wouldn't be able to talk to them if that layer was not sealed. And because I created a bridge earlier, I was able to go right back to where I was before I took the death. Like, that position right there is safe as long as I move out of the way when the fireballs come. So not all of the enemies have scripted movements. Some enemies that come out of layers have completely random movements, like this one. Also, in some layers, the enemies will only come out after you defeat one, while other layers, they will just come out one by one, regardless of whether you've defeated them. So sometimes it's better to just wait it out and wait for all the enemies to come out, get a quick kill, while others, you are forced to kill one in order to unlock the next. Right there, we just met Lisa, who is kind of supposed to be the female protagonist of this game, because I guess since this is an RPG, there has to be a female protagonist. Just took a little bit of movement there while I was passing by, because literally all I have to do on this trip is grab this item, the Leo's brush, before I need to go back. And of course, anytime you go back to the Master's Room, whether it be from a death, or because you just went back, you get a free full heal. You also heal to full HP whenever you level up, which is about to happen in the next area. And the run of this game is routed so that ideally you level up at times when you're really low on HP. There are a few times, though, where you can level up just before you want to take a death warp, which just makes things slower. Or you just level up at a time when you don't need it. And if you die when you're not supposed to, it can be pretty bad in the run. Because you might lose gems when you really need them. And also it can mess up the experience route, so you won't get your level ups when you want them. I will actually take a few saves in this run, because there are a few areas where if I lose all my gems, it can be very difficult to progress without basically going all casual. So you're gonna see me skip most of the weapons in this game, because since I'm not killing like all the enemies in each area, I'm not sealing all the layers, I'm gonna be extremely underleveled, and every weapon in this game has an assigned level that is required in order to be able to swing the sword. Not really a problem now, but eventually the first weapon in the game just gets outclassed and I start doing very little damage, and eventually there comes a time when I'm actually forced to upgrade weapons for progression, and even though I'm not able to swing them. So, coming up on the first boss here, I'm actually gonna create a warp for safety, because it's actually pretty easy to wipe to this first boss if you don't do it properly. Pretty simple fight, but if you aren't good with your movement, it'd be bad. Ugh. It's alright, I'm gonna get a level here. So basically, for this first boss, I'm gonna kind of just drill at the boss on a conveyor belt that moves upward. And I have to keep pressing the down button, because if I go too close, it'll become invulnerable and just swing at me. And if I get too far, I'll take the fireball damage without getting damage on it. Also, after defeating every boss, you get a full heal. So now I need to take damage in order towards the death. I could take the shortcut I just created, but because of that conveyor, which moves you upwards, this movement would be pretty slow, just compared to just taking a death, since my max HP is still pretty low. So before I can actually go to the next area, I have to talk to the World Guardian and get a stone. Yep, that's what the medical herb is for. Well, it heals you when you're about to die. Thank you, Glacier. Basically, I gotta complete 6 areas and get 6 stones to access the final dungeon. Next area is Greenwood, and this can be pretty tough. In fact, I'd say, at least for me, it's probably the hardest area in the game. If you're not good at avoiding damage, pretty difficult, and you can end up having to like do slower strats just to survive. Also, I don't know if I touched on it earlier, but when you kill enemies, you get gems, which allow you to use magic. Although I did mention that you lose all your gems if you die. But those gems allow you to use magic, and the gem drops you get are random. You can either get a small one, which gives you 1, like a mid-sized one, which I think is 4 or 5, and then the large ones are 10. And depending on the size gem drops you get, it can kind of change the strats you can use. The game also has like crab walking, as you're seeing here, where I'm moving without changing the direction I'm facing. And that's a pretty key mechanic in the speedrun. You also do more damage when your sword swings towards the enemy. This lair, I want to wait for them all to come out before I start shooting fireballs. However, these enemies actually become invulnerable to damage when they're shooting out their tentacles. Not too bad. So here I'm actually going to pick up an invisible item, which is a... Oh, I didn't do this? Oh, wow. Oh, this is something that can happen. So, you don't fully clear a lair before unlocking one that restores a soul. All the enemies in that lair respawn. I thought I killed all of them. And then you have to kill them all again. Technically, I could have skipped that one, since it's optional, but I wanted the strange bottle, because it'll make a part later much easier. This layer I'm clearing is also optional, but I'm gonna clear this one and one other, because it gets me a new piece of armor that will also make something that happens later much easier. Yeah, that's what the strange bottle does. It allows you to keep all your gems when you die. And there are a few times when I actually want to keep my gems, even after a death warp. But I don't want to spend so much time actually going back by foot, just to keep them. Moved up a bit to spawn enemies out of this lair that I can now shoot from the side. I'm gonna wait until it unlocks before moving into the next area to avoid what happened before with the enemies respawning, because the lair was not actually cleared. So this is the other lair that is needed to unlock the ice armor, which allows me to cross lava without taking damage. Probably not going to use it here, even though I could for certain bridges, because it's going to take too much time to go back for it. But in an area later, it's going to make things a lot easier, because without the ice armor, that area is super difficult. Also, these lizards are random with their movement. Sometimes they'll teleport right on top of you. So bad. The scorpions you saw are enemies I actually can't kill at all yet. I need another weapon that you can't get until later. So here I'm waiting for the lava to go away. And I'm about to get the best magic in the game in only the second area, the light arrow magic. Which allows you to shoot arrows in 4 directions from that ball you see around me. And since I'm so low on HP, I now have to play it a bit safe. Even though I still have my medical herb. But yeah, this is by far the best magic in the game. Nothing you get later compares. So I'm not going to be getting any more magic. Except for one that you have to equip before the final boss. But that's like a different kind of magic. It doesn't actually come out of your magic ball. Oh, wow. I completely forgot to seal the lair. Yeah, so that layer actually completes the bridge. But I've already lost my herb, so now I have to be very careful. I try and shoot arrows at these teleporting lizards, because I don't want to take damage from the scorpions. Wow, got it too early. Oh! Bad spawn. And I'm out. Fortunately, there's a chest after this layer that it has 100 gems. Yeah. This layer and many others, by standing like 1 pixel from it, the enemies will not move off. I can just swing. I'll come back for those gems later. Faster to get them now, but I don't know what's going to happen in the second part. And the first part of the next area, really difficult without gems. So I don't want to risk losing them. Just one more layer I gotta get rid of to create the warp. Oh, wow. Okay. Made it out alive. This is Turbo, the dog who used to work for Dr. Leo that unfortunately passed away. This dog is going to give us what we need to progress in the form of its remains. Also, you saw one at the very beginning, but there are these guardians, or not, I don't know if they're guardians, but they're like, there's mythical creatures that will give you like special powers that you can use. Like technically the power to use magic was one of them, and you don't actually need any of the others to complete the game, but I did get that one because without it, did I not? Oh, I was talking to the squirrel. Must have talked to it by accident and just got a lot of dialogue. So, I talked to that tree stump in order to unlock the path to the ice armor. But yeah, without that mythical creature, the last room in this area is pitch black. And I do not have that room memorized, so I don't want to go through it like that. Don't care so much about damage right now because I'm about to get a level. And I can literally just walk through this path now. But this bridge right here, I can't cross without the leaf that I got from Turbo. Also, when you hold up out your sword, it actually attracts gems. It's not just for damage, so sometimes I'll be holding it out just to try to magnetize gems. Remember these sun-type enemies, because you're gonna see them later. Can't kill them now, but Eventually, I will need to. I do not know what's going on with my video feed. I apologize. Wow, I am dropping frames. Please excuse me for one moment. I paused the timer because of all the frame drops. I may have to restart the stream. Alright, I hope things are better now. I cut down the frame rate. But yeah, that boss can be completely manipulated by just standing in the right positions. I guess on the last one, I was just distracted by the frame rate issues that I didn't get the right setup. It's alright, I can get a chest to restore my gems, but I'll start the timer again after clearing this text box, since I actually lost a few seconds when I was shutting the stream off. Alright, let's go. So the guardian of this world is literally just the tree head that we were talking to. And just by standing on that tile, you get what you need. But I actually am gonna go back and get those gems, since I lost them all from that death. If I hadn't have died, I think I had enough that I could have skipped this chest. So I have to talk to this statue here in order to unlock the first area, and I'm actually going to take a save because this next area has rocks that are very hard to kill with a sword. And if I wipe, it's going to be very hard to finish, even if I've cleared out a bunch of enemies, because I won't be able to kill the rocks with the arrows. Alright, it looks like, oops, wrong button. Not used to selecting the first option here in a run. Yeah, so because we haven't upgraded our swords since the beginning, I would only be able to do 1 damage killing this with the sword. I've already lost 16 gems on it. Intentionally took damage because I want to take a death warp, and I just leveled up right before that lair. So that lair unlocks the bubble armor, which allows me to go into the ocean area without taking damage. You're going to see that I'm actually going to take damage when I walk into this ocean, because while I could equip the bubble armor now, I'm gonna have to take another death warp shortly, and so there's really no need to equip the bubble armor, since literally I just have to walk up here, and it's better just to intentionally take the damage and make the death warp faster, since I just have to clear this one layer. I actually have to clear this layer in order to unlock one of the statues. And if I have a lot of HP, it can be very hard towards the death warp, because the only enemy that can do damage is this fish. Once I've cleared the monkey lair, and they can only damage me with the bubbles. Also gotta remember to actually talk to the statue, and then remember to equip the bubble armor after I get it from the mermaid. So these statues remove these tombstones that block your path in the ocean. And there are 4 of them that I have to free. This next part is the reason why I picked up that strange bottle. Because after the next death warp, I'm going to want a lot of gems for killing rocks and other enemies from a far distance. That can be pretty difficult if I lose all of them on this death warp. Standing right in this spot allows me to kill both the birds and the monkeys while avoiding the bubbles from this fish. Yeah, this is technically the first of a trilogy of Quintet games. Although I think it can also be linked with ActRaiser. There was also like a spiritual successor for the PlayStation, Grand Stream Saga. I haven't played it, but maybe I will someday. Did I miss a layer somewhere? No, I'm supposed to... Sometimes it can be hard to actually see that one opening. I don't even need to remove the bubble armor here. But I do need to equip the strange bottle. And now I have to equip a medical herb because that's very important for this next area. What the game wants you to do in the Endurian is they want you to get this item that you give, or no, they want you to talk to a mermaid that gives you this item that cools down all the lava, which allows you to and then that allows you to get to this lair without touching the lava. But the amount of time it takes to like seal the layers and get the item is pretty long, and if you have a medical herb and don't take too much damage, you can actually cross over to that lair while the lava is still active. And that also leaves the lava active for later, because I do actually have to come back to that area for something, and I'll want to take a death warp, and the lava will make the death warp fast. The only downside is that I'll need to kill the enemies out of that lair from a distance, which is why I wanted all these gems for light arrows. And I also have to be careful not to take too much damage. Also, you can just take damage in this area from falling rocks. It's actually random where they fall. This is the part where I have to remember not to forget the Thunder Ring. Like I've done so many times. Not only do I have to talk to another statue, I need this Thunder Ring to kill literally one layer in the next area. It's literally the only time I'll ever need the item, but there's literally no other way to kill the enemies at this point, since I don't have the required weapon. Actually, I'm not even sure if that weapon kills them if you were to, like, come back. Not that you could come back, but wow, I almost forgot. Because technically the enemies in that layer are already defeated, right? And, layers don't respawn, like, when you complete them. Like, when I have to go back to a few areas, any layers that I've sealed will remain sealed. The only enemies that respawn in this game infinitely are the ones not connected to layers. They will respawn when you leave and re-enter a room. Don't forget. Thank you. There are also, like, no iframes in this game. You can literally take 2 hits of damage in less than a second. Alright, one cycle that. So basically, I have to be standing next to those, like, lightning blocks with these enemies. That, as you can tell by the sound effects, my sword is doing no damage. And that was a bad time to get a level up, because I was about to force another death warp. Bubbles do not do a lot of damage. In fact, I went into the menu just to check that I had actually removed the armor, but yeah, the bubbles do so little. So here I'm going to pick up an accessory called the Power Bracelet, which will double all the damage that I deal with the sword. And this is really important because I still have not gotten a single weapon upgrade and I'm still very underleveled. So without this accessory, my damage is going to be extremely narked. I've actually died to the next boss because I've forgotten to equip this accessory. Just gonna step in there for the heal, because it's very likely I'll actually take damage on the way to this boss. So what I have to do is I need to take out the hands and then do damage to the head, but the hands will respawn after a bit. Oh, this is not good. That took too much. Yeah, I just took too much damage. Yeah, it's very important to be standing in the right spot, this boss, at the right times. But you have to move down to avoid the damage here. And man, that lag. There are times in this game when the game just lags so much because there's just so many sprites on screen, and the engine was not built to handle it. For some reason, I actually have to talk to the Mermaid Queen right in front of her. Actually, I'm gonna take a save here. For this next area, gems are really important. And one death at the wrong time. In fact, I don't even think there's not a single death warp in this entire area because gems are so important. I get back to the town area by either teleporting with a statue or using... Actually, there's one death warp at the very end, but before the boss, until I clear all the layers, I really gotta keep all my gems, because there are enemies in this level that are really difficult to kill with a sword. The wizards in this area, if you move too close to them, they'll just start teleporting everywhere, and when they teleport, they're invulnerable to damage. So you want to kill them from a distance so that they don't move off of the lair spot. That requires using light arrows. Also, there are these snowballs. One thing that's going to help me with that is this armor I'm about to get called the magic armor, which cuts the amount of gems I need to, or the amount of gems consumed when I use magic in half. So normally light arrows cost 8 gems in order to use. Now they only cost 4. I could clear this lair later, and sometimes it's better to do it that way to despawn snowballs, but I took a lot of damage and I wanted the health. Gotta be careful not to touch that lair before clearing out the other one, because, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't finish killing all the enemies from a lair before sealing one that brings you over to the town area, all the enemies in that lair respawn. Although, actually, this one would not have done that, because it only summons the statue I used to teleport back. But there is another lair later at the very end where I could make that mistake. Moved in that pattern to make the snowballs hit the walls so that I would take minimal damage. Here I have to equip mushroom shoes in order to be able to walk on this ice, and then I want to re-equip the power bracelet immediately so that I can get the extra physical damage again. These are the wizards I was talking about. I need to kill them with light arrows, because if I move too close to them, they'll start teleporting out of control. These bats I don't need to kill with arrows, but it does make it a little easier. However, I do have to budget my arrows. But if I am good with shots, save some time killing them with arrows, especially here where you have to kill them on a slope. Oh, that can happen. You kill these bats in a bad spot, you won't be able to attract the gems. So I just missed out on a big 10. Actually getting pretty lucky. Speaking of lucky, I'm about to get my first weapon upgrade of the run, the Lucky Blade. It is actually required to get this weapon in order to progress through this area. This old man in the town won't let you through a door if you don't have it. Fortunately, the weapon is pretty useful. As I mentioned earlier, every weapon has a minimum level required for swinging it, and because I've killed so few enemies compared to what you would kill in a casual play, I'm way too underleveled to swing it. You have to be level 15. However, it's still worth equipping because it increases the odds of getting better gem drops. And since I'm using so much magic in this area, I really want to get better gem drops. Increases the odds of like getting 10s. And since I'm only killing enemies with magic up until the end of this world, not having the ability to swing the sword isn't a big deal. The only thing I won't be able to kill with magic is the boss, because bosses are immune to magic, but I can literally just poke that enemy to death with the Lucky Blade, since you can still damage enemies by poking them with a sword, even if you aren't at the required level for swinging it. So I'm gonna let the slime layer spawn all the enemies before I actually take out the bats. Try and get as much kills for a single magic as possible, and I did not get a lot. Alright. Doing that layer opens up this invisible path. And I'm creeping up to this layer because I don't want to get too close to these red wizards. It's very easy to get too close and make them start teleporting if you're not careful. Also, before I forget, very important I remember to re-equip the power bracelet, otherwise I will regret it when I get to the boss. Power bracelet doesn't affect magic damage, but I do have to kill the boss by poking it. And in order to be able to kill the boss without dying, I need the power bracelet. Almost got it in one shot. Finally, a 10. I was not getting good gem drops. I almost thought that I forgot to equip the Lucky Blade. That wizard lair, I want to wait for all of them to spawn one by one, and then I'll be able to kill them all at once, since they'll all be on top of each other. Yeah, some of these lairs, since the enemies don't spawn after you kill them, they spawn just one by one. They won't move if I'm standing far enough, and I can kill them all with one light arrow. I'm actually going to go into the next boss immediately after my next level up. Make sure that I'm at full HP. So, whenever that level up happens, I'm just going to finish the lair I'm on and go into the boss fight. One, I actually have to press on the D-pad while against a wall to make the magic ball extend out enough that I can kill that wizard lair without moving too close. This boss is very easy as long as you are properly equipped and stand in the right positions. Just drill it to death. And of course, as long as you have enough health going into it, which is why I waited and did it right after I leveled up. However, I'm actually not done here. What I freed here is actually not the World Guardian. I freed the Mountain King, who I will need to talk to at the very end of the game, but I freed the World Guardian from a lair earlier, and now I have to free these dancing grandmas that are required for something at the end. This is that lair. That's the lair where if I step on it before defeating all the bats out of this lair, the bat count will reset. I'm at the point where I can't afford to run out of gems. Even with the magic armor, it's possible to run out if you're not careful, and I'm intentionally standing on top of that layer to take some damage, because now I need to do a death warp. So this next area is probably the hardest part in the game. Although I don't find it as hard as World 2, but that's only because I get the ice armor. Without the ice armor, this area is a nightmare. So there are enemies in this area that can only be killed with a certain type of sword that does damage to metal enemies. But that sword has a minimum level of 16, and I'm only level 13, so I can't swing the sword. Therefore, in order to kill those enemies, I have to drill them to death, because those enemies are also invulnerable to magic. So without light arrows or the ability to swing, I just have to hold my sword up to them, and there's some of these enemies that are either really dangerous if you get too close and take damage, or if you don't hit them the first attempt you have, they just move all over the map. So I'm probably not going to be talking too much here. I can still kill these worms with magic, though. These helicopter enemies, you really gotta press left or right, depending on which direction you're facing at the right time in order to avoid damage. And to avoid them, like, flying everywhere. Oh wow, if I had missed that mice, it would have just ran all across the room. And I would have lost so much time. Alright. Didn't miss a single mouse. If you do miss them, there are a few layers you can clear to reset the layer, but it also resets all the enemies and not just like one if you only missed one. Oh. Wow. Things went all the way over there. Oh. Wow. It's not good. Wow! I got trolled so badly. But anyways, I'm level 15 now, which means I can actually swing the Lucky Blade. Which is good because I am gonna need gems for these town models. Some of the enemies are very hard to kill without light arrows. And I just took a death warp, so I need to restock. Fortunately, there's nothing here in these town models that requires the Zantetsu sword. That enemy I just killed is an invisible enemy that only becomes visible if I get one of those mythical creatures. But since I know where that enemy is, I don't want to waste time getting that mythical creature to kill it. Those enemies don't change position, fortunately. So it's not really needed in order to kill them. Alright, now I'm level 16, so I can equip the Zantetsu sword for faster kills. So now I'm gonna go into the second town model. For this one, I actually only need to seal one layer, but unfortunately it's like at the very end, so there's a bit of a walk. And then I have to shoot some invisible tanks with light arrows. But I know exactly where to shoot. Oh, I went into the wrong place. Oops. So here I'm gonna get the light armor, which you could skip, but I don't recommend it. This armor causes everything to deal only 1 damage. If I didn't have it, everything else would deal a lot more. Because we're still very low level. Very low stats. Perfect movement, perfect timing. If you were really good at this game, you could actually skip this layer, which creates a warp back to the Master's Room. But then you'd have to go into the boss with not full health. And you're expected to take some damage from this boss. So, I wouldn't do that unless you're an expert. Oh. Not like that position. Alright. But theoretically, you could save some time if you manage to get through this boss without taking damage. Then you could just force a death warp. But, well, actually, it'd still be pretty hard to force a death warp because you get a full heal after killing the boss no matter what. I don't even know if it's worth it. Skip this warp point. So the guardian of this area is actually a talking doll. Go figure. Overmashed. Now we have Area 6, Magrid Castle. So just like the last area, there are enemies in this area that can only be killed with a certain type of sword that I'm not a high enough level to swing. Fortunately, these enemies are much easier to kill just by drilling. But there are other enemies that I still want to kill by swinging, so I'll be swapping the Zantetsu sword with the sword I'm about to get, which is the Spirit Sword. Also, there's this invisible harp string that I need to find here. So just by standing here in the right spot, these ghosts will just float all around me, and they'll go right into my sword and take damage. Here, unfortunately, I am going to take damage, not from the ghost, but from this skull that's shooting out fireballs. Fortunately, the light armor makes it so I only take 1 damage. And now I'm actually going to pick up some invisible chests, which will give me a strange bottle that will help me, allow me to keep my gems after the next death warp, another medical herb, which hopefully I'll be able to save for the final area, but I may have to use earlier if I take too much damage, and a chest of 100 gems. Because since I now have the light armor equipped, I no longer lose only 4 gems for light hours, I lose the normal 8. So I have to budget a bit more and make sure I have enough to kill certain enemies like this, which I don't want to move off of its lair. Of course, I get a level up just before another death warp. There's actually a lot of menuing I have to do in this area. First, I have to give this harp string to a musician who will play a song, and that song will apparently make one of the... It will make the soldier in this building move from their position. And under that soldier is a card that I need to get into the next tower. And after all that, I want to re-equip the power bracelet for more physical damage. I'm also going to be using a lot of light arrows here. So we got chest knights here, which Just like a knight in chess moves in an L-shaped direction, but when they shoot out their spikes, they're invulnerable to damage. And I really shouldn't be using light arrows on this one, since there's only one of them. Just want to stand in the right spot so I can kill them with a sword. For this layer, I want to stand in this exact spot to avoid the damage from those boomerangs. So I actually want to seal the layers in this specific order, because otherwise I'll get some extra dialogue. And I want to unlock the bottom right layer last, since that gives me the statue to go back to town. But if both of those guards appear before Dr. Leo, you get a lot more dialogue, and since I already restored one of the guards in the underground, I don't want to restore the other without restoring Leo first. So here I'm going to tell the queen that she's pretty, so that she'll give me the VIP card, which I need to get into the right tower. But now I'm level 19, so I can swing the spirit sword. I actually have a lot of gems here. I could have taken them out with light arrow. But now I have plenty to deal with the knights that come after these 4 layers. Uh-oh. Okay, I may have to equip... I'm gonna go ahead and equip the herb for safety. Worst thing that happens is I'll have to go back to Grass Valley and get another herb from the shop. But I don't want to lose all these gems. I might survive, though. Nice. Didn't lose my herb. So now we got 5 minutes of dialogue. For some reason, in the English version of this game, dialogue moves very slowly. Text moves at a very low speed. Text speed is much faster in the Japanese version. I don't know why, since for most of the other Quintet games, it's either the same or actually the opposite in the case of Illusion of Gaia, where text moves or can move super fast in the English version. But this is kind of where the story comes to its climax, where the queen wants to bargain with the villain Death Toll, who made a deal with the king to seal away all the creatures into those layers, and the king forced Dr. Leo to make the machine defeated. So now the queen is holding Leo's daughter, who you saw at the beginning of the game, hostage. Also, if anyone wants to predict how many times this next boss will dive on me, go ahead. Oh wow, I messed that up. I could have had no dives, but I didn't get enough damage. Yeah, for this boss, the wind is constantly pushing you down, so you have to like move back up, and you want to drill the bird. But it's really hard to do that when the bird dives. You also don't want to move up too quickly, because otherwise the bird will fly higher, which also happened. But what can be hard is actually getting the damage when you have the opportunity because of the steering wheel. So when you're actually like moving left across the ship to damage it, you have to be able to get around that wheel without missing too much damage. So there is one thing I have to get before I go to the final dungeon, and that is the Super Bracelet, which is just like the Power Bracelet, except it also cuts the amount of damage I take in half. Because once I get to the final area, even with the light armor, I'm gonna start taking more than 1 damage if I don't have this bracelet. In fact, I'm pretty sure I take more than 1 damage even with the bracelet. Pretty soon, though, I'm gonna get the ultimate armor, which is actually required in order to complete the game. The last area is actually pretty easy. If you stand and swing your sword in the right positions, you'll be able to hit the flies when they become vulnerable. Just gotta be careful not to take too much damage. Like, I'm gonna get 1 level up, and I have 1 herb. But I kind of need those in order to deal with some hazards. That's not the level up I was talking about. I should get 1 more. Not getting to the right spot position for that fly. Okay, this... Oh, wow. That's not good. I actually do need gems for some layers. Hopefully I get enough. I don't know why that was so hard. Alright, I'm already back to 75 because the enemies in this area give such good gem drops. Like, I absolutely need magic to seal this layer. Because of where those enemies are positioned. They're positioned, like, inside things that I can't move through. What? Oh, I forgot to equip the armor. So yeah, you don't have the soul armor when getting into this room. Take a lot of damage. Now this is gonna be a problem. What I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna seal this layer first. Get a heal. A little bit slower, but I just took too much damage. Because I forgot to equip the armor. That's why the soul armor is actually required in order to complete the game. But now I have to get these, wrong exit. I have to get these, 3 items that are needed to summon the Phoenix. The first I got inside the World of Evil, but the other 2 I actually have to go back to previous locations. I have to kill, enemies that I wasn't able to kill earlier because I didn't have the required weapons. And now I have the Soul Blade, which is the strongest sword in the game and can kill any type of enemy. Not even gonna bother equipping the double armor here because I'm gonna be forcing a death after 1 layer. It's better just to take the 1 damage that I'll get with the soul armor equipped. Do I not have it equipped? I don't. So for this one, I have to kill these sun spirits that I saw earlier. Another reason why I got that creature, which gave me the power to see in this room, because this part is also harder without it. Also, I did this one second because I wanted to get gems after that death warp. Since gems will be very important for the final boss, I can't beat it without them. So now I have to sneak up behind this bird. And I have to be very careful, otherwise the bird will fly all the way back to the left tree stump. Alright, I got the 3 items now. And now I have to visit the Mountain King. And the Mountain King will summon Death Toll and give me the Phoenix magic, which I need in order to defeat the final boss. This is dialogue you're expected to see earlier if you talk to this king right after defeating the boss of this area. And the king will tell you that you should get these 3 items. But you can just skip that and talk to the king now. Dancing Grandmas! That stairway actually wasn't there when I was at the World of Evil before. It only appears after you get the 3 items and talk to the king. And now I have the Phoenix magic. But in order to be able to use this Phoenix magic, I have to be able to swing the Soul Blade, since the Phoenix comes out when I swing it. And to be able to swing the Soul Blade, I have to be level 24 or higher. So there is a small grind I have to do before the final boss, since I need to be able to swing the Soul Blade in order to shoot out the Phoenix and kill the final boss, since I can't damage it. Ugh, I went to the wrong door again. You can't damage the boss with normal physicals. Fortunately, the walls in this area give 4,000 experience each. And one hit with the Soul Blade will kill them. Target number is 396,000. After which I can just kill the rest in this room and head towards the final boss at level 24. Oh, you did this grind casually. I didn't have to do a grind casually because I killed just most of the layers in the game, and that got me to the right level by default. Alright, level 24, let's go. So, the final boss is 2 phases. The first phase I can kill just by swinging the sword, so I'm not even going to bother equipping the Phoenix until just before the second phase, because having the Phoenix here just lags the game. Now, for the second phase, I need to put out all these flames before the boss actually becomes vulnerable. I'm actually gonna wait out the lasers here, because if the lasers and the fireballs that the boss shoots out are on screen at the same time, there's a lot of lag. I'm killing the flames just by drilling them to save gems, since I have to shoot the Phoenix at the boss to damage it, and the Phoenix consumes 1 gem each. The boss actually has a pretty big hitbox. This boss is also easier on this version of the game, because you can literally stand in between those fireballs. Not possible on the Japanese version. Time. Alright, that was Soul Blazer. Hope you enjoyed the run. Thank you all. RGL for having me. Thank you for the GGs. Team Murdoch, OJ, Fire Breather, Sin, Ice Queen, Muware, Relaos, Rolf, Nuss, Climax. Thank you all. Thank you, Smitty. Thank you, Chrono. So, if any of you are interested in speedrunning Soul Blazer, there's actually an annual race that happens on the RPG Limit Break channel around this time of the year. And it's open to everyone. Thank you, Rasek. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rio. Thank you, everyone. Alright, RGL can feel free to, send it over to the next run.